With the Paris Olympics just concluding, going into the next Olympics, I have a good idea to just shake things up a little bit. What's on, guys? Jay Hoyt back with you today. Welcome back to another video. Today, we got an interesting topic because it's not something I think I've ever really talked about here on the channel, and that's going to be the Olympics. So with it just concluding and the USA dominating as far as the total medal count, I think they tied with, I think it was like China or something, for the most gold. So super cool to see that, we're up there and, absolutely crushing it as a nation. But we have a new idea, right? And I was actually talking about this with some of my coworkers, and of course I started talking about it, and they were like, that's an interesting idea. And then I go home and I swear my phone's listening to me, but I saw a TikTok from a random account that I've never heard of or have really watched before, and they actually had a similar, almost exactly the same idea. So I wanted to share this with you first, and then I wanted to talk about it. So this is it here. Of course, it had some stupid clip on the side of like a racing game or something, but this was the idea, right? I'm guessing this is from some podcast, but this is the idea right here.
You know what I think the Olympics should be? Instead of
What?
taking the greatest athletes from every country to represent, literally it should be like jury duty. You get sentenced and you're like, you got to perform for the country. And it's people, random people.
Oh.
So you get an actual representation
Like
of the
Hunger
country.
Games
Very
shit.
Hunger Games.
It's a
Hunger
Hunger
Games.
About
as a
Hunger
whole.
Games,
Just your
but-
average American.
Against your will, you have to go.
Yes.
And that would be an interesting, new version of Hunger Games where it's
like the draft.
Don't know why they
You
keep
what I
saying
mean?
Hunger
Imagine,
Games.
like, Zayn gets
Something.
put into like a long jump competition and has to be.
But I have to practice for it.
you get like 6 months to train.
Yeah.
what's
we
the
can't do
prize?
You're representing our country.
So it's a really interesting idea. Now, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the Hunger Games, unless they just mean like you get just put there. But, because obviously no one's dying during the Olympics. But it's an interesting idea, right? Everyone, well, hopefully not everybody, but if you ever got selected for jury duty, right? I did once, and it ended up getting, I don't know what the right term is, dismissed or settled out of court, I think is what it did. But you get a letter in the mail saying, hey, you got selected for the USA Olympic team or whatever country you're in, and you are competing in this one they use the long jump competition. So it's going to be like, okay, the Paris Olympics are in whatever month, and you have 6 months to train from whenever, like you get the letter like 6 months out, and then you have 6 months to train, right? Maybe you get kind of like a package or something in the mail that kind of gives you, I don't know, like supplements or like workout routines that are best used for this, or, a rule book of how the event/sport actually works if you don't know. And then you get those 6 months to train to be the best you can be at this sport. And you have to go, and if you don't go, then there's like some kind of punishment or fine or, whatever it may be. But it does give you a interesting idea, right? So I don't know about jury duty. I'm guessing it's probably just like 18 or like 21 through like, there's probably like a max age. Maybe there's not. I don't really know how jury duty even works. But you have, let's just say, an age range from 18 to, I don't know what the max age would be, like 35 or something, or 40, where depending on the sport or the event, that there's that max age. So at least you could have a healthy competition for, and it's not just like an 18-year-old kid versus like a 75-year-old kid in like the 100-meter dash or something. Like, it'd have to be like somewhat of an even playing field across all sports, all nations, all countries, all everything. But you get selected and you have to go, right? And then if it's just me, right, I'm just me. Like, I'm not an athlete. I used to be, right? Back in the day, used to be an athlete, not a crazy athlete, but we had fun in some baseball and soccer and some other stuff. But now imagine you go there, right? If I get selected, definitely not in the same shape I was before, and I get selected for, I don't even know, what's a good sport? Like beach volleyball or something. Like, played volleyball, right? As a recreational during like gym class or something, or maybe once or twice outside of it. But then all of a sudden, like, that's your sport. You got to go pair up with some person you've probably never met or even heard of. And now you're their, like, tag team partner here. If it's, like, twos. I don't know. How's beach volleyball work? Is it two people, I think? But then you go and now you're the team, right? You're the team representing your country. and not some people that have trained their entire lives to be there. Now maybe we make this kind of like a two-part Olympics where every event has two matches or two, I don't want to say tournaments, but two kind of events, right? So you have the trained athletes, then you also have the drafted athletes. And then in that case, where you have a real representation over the best, players or best athletes in whatever event or sport. And then you have the true, this is your nation's average person, hopefully. And then you go, you compete, and now you're there. And then hopefully you can do well, and it'd be a lot more entertaining, right? Nobody wants to see like 10 people that run like Usain Bolt race and be like 100th of a second off, and then maybe fall to like 300th of a second off, or I don't even know what the gap is there, but nobody wants to see like a second difference between like first and last. Like we want to see like 10 seconds between like myself and like 3 other people, right? If I'm the fastest and I get, let's just say, I don't even know what an accurate time here is, but in whatever running event we're in, let's just say it's a minute long, right? I want that differential to be like a minute versus like a minute in like 20 seconds versus like a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, right? You get some of the craziest events where it's like you had time to train, you might be bigger, overweight, out of shape, whatever it may be, but you have time to kind of get yourself in hopefully a little bit better of a situation that you're in as you sit or before the event starts. And we want to see just the average American or the average Canadian or the average, all these countries and nations compete, right? That'd be super fun to watch. Like, yeah, you could watch all the best athletes and like, yeah, of course, they're all going to do very well. But at the same time, wouldn't it be a good idea or just kind of like a fun idea to have the average person in a country compete in these events? Or what you could do is have, if it's like a 10-person event, you have 9 of the best athletes do it, and then you have just one average person just like thrown in there from the crowd. So that way you have an accurate representation of how good these athletes are. Now, obviously you want to showcase their talents and everything, but just imagine if you could have just the average, citizens from your country compete in these sports. I feel like that'd be a really fun idea, and also it'd be really entertaining to watch. So hopefully you guys thought this to be an interesting idea too, but I'm gonna wrap this one up here. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below, comment what you guys think. Would this be a good idea? Yes or no? Let me know down below. If you haven't yet, or if you're brand new to the channel, help the channel grow, hit that subscribe button. It's free, does not cost any money, there's no catch, no strings attached, no nothing. Helps me out. It helps you guys, follow the channel and find all the content. And as always, guys, we'll see you in the next one.